everybody! I am Angela Wassel, back in and again for another vlog. So for today's video, we're gonna talk about what are those example materials that correspond to each SLA, which means Second Language Acquisition Principle, and also the procedures on how the materials were developed. So without further ado, let's start! Let's talk about first, what is the principle one? So the best material for this principle is the storybook with pictures and simple sentences. The procedures to develop these materials are: first, choose a familiar topic, example given, a day at the park. Second one, write a short, clear sentences using a common vocabulary. The third one is add pictures that match each sentence. The fourth is read aloud to check if it is easy to understand. Lastly, adjust language to be just a little above students' current level. In the other hand, in Principle 2, the best materials that we should use is the personal storytelling worksheet. So, these are the procedures to develop these materials. First, choose the topic that students care about. Just like, for example, their favorite memories, their favorite things to do. Just like that. The second one is create a simple question prompts. Example, where did you go? Who are you with? Yes. The third one is leave space for students to draw or write. The fourth one, make sure the language matches learner's level. Lastly, allow students to share their stories in small groups or with the class. Now, let's go to Principle 3. So, this is the best materials that corresponds to this principle. So, the language learning games. So, the specific of this is the vocabulary bingo. The procedures to develop these materials are: first, select 9 to 16 words learners have studied. The second one is make bingo cards with pictures or words and different spots. The third one is prepare word or picture call-out cards for the teacher. The fourth one is give each student one card and small markers. The last one is call out a word. Students mark the words on the cards when they hear them. So that is the procedures and Principle 3. In Principle 4, the best materials that correspond on this principle is the sentence matching cards. So L1 and L2 translation cards. The procedures to develop these materials are: first, choose 10 to 15 useful everyday sentences. Just like, for example, how are you? Yes, just like that. The second one is write each sentence in both L1 and L2. The third one is print and cut into separate cards. The fourth one is shuffle the cards and ask students to match the L1 and L2. Lastly, review the meaning and pronunciation with learners. Now, let's go to Principle 5. So the best materials that correspond on this principle is the grammar highlighted reading text. So the procedures to develop these materials are: first, write or choose a short passage. Second, select a grammar point to focus on. Just like, for example, past tense verbs or present verbs or the future verbs, just like that. Third one is highlight or bold the target grammar focus. Fourth is add a few questions like, what words tell us this happened in the past? Yes. The last one is let students read, notice, and discuss the patterns. So now, this is the last principles and second language acquisition. So the best materials that can utilize in this principle is the role play cards. So the procedures to develop these materials are: first, pick a real life situation. So example, in restaurant conversation, in hospital conversation, in anything. Second one is write simple dialogues or sentence starters. Third is create role cards with goals for each person. Example, if your settings is at the restaurant, no? So the characters or the persons are the customer, the waiter, the chef, and everything inside the restaurant place. So the fourth one is the include useful expression. Expression is very important. So the last one is have students practice in pairs and perform in front of the class. So that's the end of my vlog for today's video. So I hope you've learned something from me. I hope you understand the 6 principles of SLA, or the second language acquisition. No hate, spread love, stay hydrated everyone. Bye!